Welcome to the Super R-CADE Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Super R-CADE Show. Woo! I'm joined this week by the fantastic Pikachu. Sorry, Lewis, over there, because the camera's there. We go. I'm joined by the fantastic Sam, and the wonderful Twitch.tv/Totana above me, replacing Nadia this week again, as she is still on the island of Men.
Yep.
It's called Crete.
Men Island.
Crete. Did you say Crete or it's a treat? I'm not really sure. I didn't hear. Sorry.
Manland.
It's a Crete. I'll be honest, Andrew. I was kind of hoping that we were just going to go without acknowledging the Pikachu.
Without. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have just pretended it wasn't there.
It's also the fact that the arrow's pointing directly at it.
I can move them over. No, that's
Andrew.
No. I like it where it is because it's insinuating that the Pikachu is Andrew.
He's a majestic specimen. Look at him.
The thing that got me was you were like,
ooh,
the amazing Pikachu. I mean, Lewis. Whereas Sam is the one that's wearing yellow.
This is orange.
That's fair.
My camera's
Yellow
just
enough.
washing me out.
There we go. We'll just leave that there.
I'm sorry that I'm the only one in this entire company that doesn't wear
Hey.
black.
Hey, I'm wearing white.
I was actually going to be wearing green, but then I was like, no.
I was
are
wearing
wearing
nothing.
Well,
Next week,
Welcome to-
topless hot tub stream. Yeah, let's go.
welcome to the Power Suit Hour, where we talk about clothes.
The hour of suit. I mean power. The hour of power. That has a better ring to it,
The
doesn't it?
Tao of Pow.
The hour of power. Yeah, this is the Super Arcade Show. This is our weekly meetup where we talk about ourselves because we're just that narcissistic, and we also talk about the world of video games and what's been happening in our favorite worlds, both digital and real.
I like Neptune.
We we start off the show.
Lord of the Sea.
With a little catch up with our contestants. Contestant number 1, Lewis. How are you, sir?
Oh, okay.
I thought
Yeah, I was like, who's going to be contestant?
I want you to do contest number 1 and then ask a non sequitur. Like, very much in the dating game vein.
I'm good. I've caught the sun, which I
What?
hate.
You should free it.
I caught it in a little trap. But no, I hate the
Caught in our
sun.
trap.
I've been out of a lot of walks. Went up to Lennox Castle. Been walking around town. It was obviously the Sam is. There's obviously the Super Arcade, not Super Arcade, the Saturday show, team stream where we all met up and had some donuts. That was lovely.
We did IRL 2 stream because I had actually done an IRL stream already last week, so it was IRL the return.
The returning.
As our neighbours to Gallus put it on their social media today, it's too hot to be working in an office.
It really is. I've
So if you
turned
can
my-
justify working outside.
It sucks. It's so warm.
Well, on the opposite of that, I'm going to stay inside for a couple of days because I've been outside too much and I don't like sun. Other than that, I've been doing some 3D printing prop stuff. I'm
Nice.
working on my little bone rune for Dishonored.
No.
There's going to be more of these to print just now. I hate sanding, but it's good. It's satisfying to see the final outcome of it.
Yeah.
You know. So, hi.
Hello, oh my god.
That's been my week. How has Tony been?
I've been good. I've, as most of you all know, just like Nadia is in a Genshin Impact hole, and we don't know if we'll ever recover. I'm back in my online hole. I've been playing a lot of Ultima Online.
Nice.
Playing on a server called Ultima Online Forever. I am almost getting to the end of my Tamer grind. I've only got like 4.5 worth of skill to go now. Other than that, there's Bane in chat. Other than that, we I've just been doing that, doing a lot of that, going for walks when I can, like when I feel up to it. Been chatting to my new manager, stuff like that. Just living like caught up on everything. I saw
Really?
Black Widow.
Oh yeah. I think you mentioned that last week, actually.
Yeah, which I really enjoyed. Other than that, I've caught up on all my TV shows. I'm up to date with all the DC Arrowverse. I'm up to date with all my anime. I'm up to date with everything.
Wow. Wow.
And just loving life.
What's it like to have your life all tied up in a pretty little bow? I feel like I'm constantly chasing things.
Oh, so am I. Like, so am I. I've applied for other positions in my job, in my work, because I'm just like, I hate speaking to people. I am one of those.
Thank you for coming on the show, by the way.
Yeah. No, I like interacting with people on my terms.
Yeah. People you want to talk to.
But when someone phones me, I'm just like, I hate people phoning me. But yeah, no, that's been my week. Lewis, you've already spoken just like last week. Sam, how's your week been? Bringing that joke back. See what I did there?
Yeah. Don't call it a comeback. No, don't call it.
Don't come on my back.
Call that.
I've been good. What haven't I done this week? What haven't I done? As I was saying just before we went on stream, I've been informally informed that I have received a place from the University of Caledonia to go and study journalism in 3 different medias in September. So I'll be joining them for that. It'll be super duper fun, and you will see far less of me. So, because I will be busy. On that note, working on some articles for Near Falls, because that needs to be done, because we're releasing a magazine this year, and no one does any prep work for it, but I'm not going to get involved. I'm also in the middle of helping them organise a month of streaming.
Woof! Really?
Apparently. But there's currently 2 concrete ideas for what it's for charity. It's raising money for charity over the month of August.
Okay.
So I'm doing that. I'm basically helping out with that, and sort of people being like, "Oh, we should all like stream video games." I'm like, "That's actually quite complicated. If you want to, And people are like,
Trust
"No,
me,
on a PS4.
Trust me.
On a PS4, you just press buttons." And I'm like, "Yeah, but what about like that or like the screens? How are you going to make it anyway?"
It's not easy. It is not easy.
It's also trying to not be like a prick and be like, "I do this for a living sometimes."
I have the knowledge, and you don't.
Yeah, so that's happening. That's been super fun. Life's progressing. Nature's evolving, or whatever the phrase is. Doing a lot of laundry today. Finally put up some figures in the background.
I was about to say, you've started on your wall. I've just
started on the wall.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I said earlier.
I was prepping. I'm sorry, I missed it.
There's also a ball in a case, but that might never be on camera. But you can see it over my shoulder right now.
Yeah, we can see it.
It's a basketball signed by the 2009-2010 Glasgow Rocks team, because I'm a cool guy.
Nice.
Did they win a title that year? No. But is it the closest they've ever come? Yes. Did I hit the captain of the team in the head with a ball the day that they could have won? Perhaps. We'll not.
Thank you, RGX, for the 14 months. Amazing stuff. Yaldi. Sorry, Sam.
Only other thing going on in my week. I think I mentioned this already last week. Girlfriend Deanne officially accepted her internship with Kano down in London. Very excited for her. She started yesterday, and they've immediately given her a task of she basically walked in and they went, "Here is a custom hoodie with our logo and your name. Here is an office mug, and here is our collaboration with Kanye West. You get one. Have fun." Before they're released to the general public, Kanye's got an album coming out this Thursday named Donda, named after his... No, the album's coming out. The album's coming out on Thursday named Donda. It's named after his mum. He hasn't done any press for it, but he has crashed Ticketmaster 5 times with people buying tickets for listening parties across the States.
Yeah.
And they're tying in the release of this item alongside it. So pay attention to wherever you might see the words Kanye West X Kano. It's like a STEM media player. It's really cool. It's really good. You can Google Kanye West X Kano and you'll get like the promo video that leaked for it last year. It's really cool. So she's now got one of those. And her first task, so we were talking earlier, pre-stream, Lewis was talking about people knowing Andy and people talking about R-CADE and whatnot.
Just
so
not knowing me, but like people like recognizing me in the public. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
So Deanne's task that she's been given, she walked in and they were like, "Oh, we don't really know what you should. Here, we've got an idea. So her task has been she needs to ideate, because creation, the packaging for a computer that they're going to release next year, which is in a collaboration with like a bunch of schools around the country. So the idea is that this is a modular computer that you can send out to schools, and they're going to build it piece by piece. Then the teacher can pack it up at the end of the year, and then the next set of students comes in the next year, and you build it all over again. So she's got to work out packaging that sort of illustrates how you put it all together, while also being different from just normal computer packaging, because it can be quite boring. So they were like, really what we're enjoying doing is looking at retro video games and vintage gaming and stuff like that. So not only did she mention R-CADE, and now everyone thinks I'm really cool, but also she's just spending all of her time on Pinterest looking up packaging for old video game consoles.
Nice.
And then a totally unrelated thing, shout out to Anton from Curry's PC World, who helped me with all of my problems this week. And also now knows about R-CADE, because he's been a PC gamer for 13 years now. Well, if you ever want to leave the master race, you can come down to R-CADE. And he was like, that sounds cool.
Was he not on the stream last week anyway when you were talking to somebody at Curry's? When you were trying to buy a USB extension cable and or new.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah.
I think he's part of the team now already without even.
That was last Saturday. Different guy.
Different guy.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Then get Anton on the stream if you want. He lives across the road.
Nice.
Shout out to Anton. Appreciate you. Anyway, yeah, that's my week, and that's everyone. So we can move on to. I'm joking.
Look at that face. Look
I'm
at
joking.
that. Look at
We need to hear how buff Pikachu's week's been.
Look, he's
You got tickets to the gun show?
Ooh.
Is that what young Pikachu?
Such a specimen. Look at him, man.
That is an Armstrong body if I've ever seen one.
Look at those. Oh.
See if he just had the little like blonde like flick, it would just be a Pikachu version of Armstrong from
Yeah.
Film.
Why are you showing us his?
His legs, his thighs, his thick thighs. Anyway,
He has them thick thighs.
You can,
Meld between those things.
you can tell I've had a productive week in buying things like this. It's been a fun week. I phoned up the COVID hotline today. I now know when my second jab is going to be. So woohoo! I'm gonna get second jabbed.
Forgot you have to do this.
Double dipped.
Double dipped like a chicken wing. So yeah. Ooh yeah. Double coating. Did
I talk about that? I've not talked about that. I'll talk about that after.
We can get to that. So yeah, getting my second jag soon. Freedom Day was yesterday, was it? Yesterday, woo.
Yeah.
And down in England, not in Scotland, by the way. Just want to point this out.
Nothing really changed.
Scotland, we were smart and we didn't, go out to nightclubs and stuff like that. And we're progressively lowering the levels, like you should, not just suddenly going free for all and everybody go wherever the heck they want with no masks on. Actually, I quickly just want to shout out to the guy Michelle was telling me about who went into a shop in Scotland not wearing a mask, and when he was asked to put a mask on, just said to the person, "I'm English." But you're in Scotland, so you kind of need to put a mask on, pal. Anyway, yeah, it's been a fun week. I'm roasting hot. It's been too hot. I've not slept a lot because it's been so warm. Done quite a few streams last week. I broke both my feet doing an IRL stream, walking up the hills to the reservoir, getting eaten by bugs. But yeah, it was worth it. It was good fun. And then on Saturday we did a fun wee IRL stream with Lewis and Sam as well. So thank you guys for joining us for that. It was good to see Deanne before she nipped off back down to London as well. It was good to see her.
Or she went to meet her new best friend, Kanye. Kanye.
But aside from that, not been doing much. Not been playing too many video games either. Actually, it's been too hot to play games. The new website launched, so arcadeglasgow.com. Officially, the new website is live. Our new store is online. You can go buy goodies. There's a sale on. You can get up to 50% off. The command will work actually, Titano. If you want to use your button, go ahead. You already hit it.
Already done?
Yeah, I see it. That I have set that link back up so it does actually work properly now and takes you to the store. So yeah, I've had my fan on almost every day since I got it. Oh my gosh, I had to turn mine off because the mic doesn't like it. Look at
I got 2 new ones when I went to Curry's. Shout out to Anton Part 2.
Anton, your new best friend. Aye. Diane's
I
gone.
just need
You have
friends,
to replace Diane.
all right?
I'm gonna get myself.
No, I
an
just need
Anton.
friends. I just need friends generally. Right? If you're out there, Anton,
Well, out the window.
be my friend.
Out the window. You just shout it out
Shout
the window.
right out there.
Anton!
Mine's in.
But apart from that, yeah. Mesh, how are you? There we go. Mesh is in the background. I don't know if you heard that. The stream might have heard it, but you guys definitely didn't hear it. Yoshi's also here as well. Yoshi, how are you?
Alive.
Oh, he's more than alive, Andrew. He's more than alive.
He's on the sofa.
We
He
heard
actually-
that. I'll point out that
Is
was
he watching
louder
the
on
stream?
Discord
Yeah.
than it was on stream.
That's the power of Discord. Power of Discord. Anyway.
No, that's the power of love.
You're just off camera. That's beautiful. Well done, Michelle. Yeah, that's good to go.
No, together.
Yeah, that's to go with that. Sorry, Michelle has a Game Boy Advance, which is going on our website. And she's just asking and double checking that the cable that's with it actually goes with it. And it does.
Our website? Don't you mean our store?
Store, yes, that. Oh, well done, Sam. Well done. Thank
Well done. Good link there.
I have a degree potential. I'm on the way to the road has begun to getting maybe a degree in journalism.
you. Does that say Dudio? Like dude with an IO at the end? 'Cause I
Dudio?
thought
Is
I
that
thought
not
you
the
were saying
Pokemon?
thank you, Dojo. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were
Thank
saying.
you, Duo.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Anyway, should we do the gaming news? We should do the gaming
Wait,
news. Whoa,
you
Sam.
mentioned double fried things. I just
Yes,
want to
food
also
talk
shout
first,
out
sorry.
food talk. Also shout out 2000s with Mac because I went there with Diane, and for the first time ever in my entire life, something that was described as buttermilk fried was actively buttermilk fried and was the most decadent food I have ever and will ever eat again. Buttermilk
Nice.
fried prawns that when you squeezed them oozed butter.
Actually,
Oh.
related, I had a
Beautiful.
milkshake today from Aldi, but it is a buttermilk chocolate caramel milkshake. And it was
Oh.
the thickest thing. I couldn't even finish the 330 milliliters because it was so thick. And it was
I
so
was just-
modish.
I just said to Diana, like most of the time when things are described as buttermilk fried, it's just like it just feels like normal fried. Like there's no
maybe
difference.
Put a little bit of milk in it, but not butter.
I cannot stress enough, people. If you live in Glasgow, go to 2000s Mamac because there is a whatever you want side and a vegan side. They're both amazing, and go and eat there because it's good and they are not a competitor for us. And order the butter milk fried prawns.
RGX says no. Lactose intolerant.
See, well, that's the thing. I also think I'm lactose intolerant. I don't give a damn. These are worth it. I don't
You're
give a
willing to put up
damn.
with it, like
Digestion?
Yeah.
Nah. Mouth first.
Who's she?
Guts
I will
later.
say, going back to the pizza argument from a couple of weeks ago, I did decide to try the Papa John's vegan cheese when I was getting it this Sunday
Okay.
to see like, I think I might be lactose intolerant. Yes, because I'm with Sam, we're ordering jalapeno poppers filled with cream cheese, so this makes no difference. But just to see, I will order the vegan cheese, and it's just very, very gooey, squirty cheese, and I hate it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
like very-
It ruined the pizza.
It tastes like American, like fake cheese. Yeah.
But
you know the
gooey.
only place I've ever tried that had vegan cheese that I was like, this is brilliant, is Mono.
Yeah.
Mono
Um,
has
Mono
good
and
food.
13
Mono-
Fruit as well, actually. They're both
Mono
phenomenal.
I don't know if they still do it, but Mono did like a pizza crunch and it was vegan. It was a vegan pizza crunch, and I was like, "Oh, can I have a vegan onion pizza crunch?" They're like, "Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that." And that with the fries, and I was just like, "Oh, they have seitan burgers that are brilliant."
Shout out to Mono. Good neighbours of
Shout out
ours.
to Mono, yeah.
Yeah. Good food.
Just,
Good,
we're
good
just
coffee
shouting
as
out
well,
food
actually.
places.
Their coffee's really good. Anyway.
We can move on to gaming news. I just want to say
Advertising other businesses.
respect to Retro Game Exchange for that level of control that you only risk it on certain occasions. I don't give a damn. Get these prawns.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for gaming news. But first, Lewis, what do you want to
Well,
mention?
this is also gaming news.
So, putting the link in the stat chat for you.
Have you? Something just dropped?
Yeah, literally, I don't know what time it dropped today, but it literally came out today, and I didn't realize it existed.
Wow.
And as a big fan of the prequel, not really same idea of thing. Mini Metro has just received a new game called Mini Motorways.
Let's pop this up.
If you didn't know what Mini Metro was, it's like a little yeah, you just link up some stations, different train lines, and get cars different places. And now they went, do you know what? We're gonna do that exact same formula, but with cars. And I think that's just a wonderful idea. I like it.
It's the simple things in life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, and that's just nice and relaxing looking.
This UI has very reminiscent of Zen Drift. What's the Zen Drift
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
That,
I
simplistic.
can't remember the name, but I know the
very-
one.
Very block color on a white back. It's quite nice. Ooh,
I literally came out today. I didn't realize.
nice.
I might have to look at that because that actually looks really relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like
Is there tunes?
Out of
there's
There's a man
there's
talking.
tunes, but this is like a somebody's video. So.
Oh.
Yeah, Mini Metro had really good just really calm, chill tunes. I've got it on my phone. It's what I'll play on any journey. Wait.
Ooh.
So is this a mobile game then?
It's mobile and it originally came out on Steam, but then they were like, you know what, actually,
Android and iOS as well. Cool. Nice. That was good.
Hmm.
I'll definitely go check that out. Thank you, Liz, for dropping that in there. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about your news first.
Sure.
Since we're there.
That was far Yoda, actually. I take that back.
Oh, you want batteries? For goodness sake. Here you go. Oh. Yeah, Lewis. Sorry, you've brought another game to our attention this week, which is a game called Glitchpunk, and it's been given a release date. Is that correct?
It has. I was really sneaky, and I've brought 2 gaming news for you. You know, so you get 2 for 1 with me. So yeah, it's a Glitchpunk is like a top-down shooter driver. It's basically like original GTA.
Yeah.
And I freaking loved GTA Chinatown, so this game speaks to me. It looks great. It's got a release date for
Syndicate.
Yes.
The original Syndicate.
It's got a release date for August 11th.
Timing on that was
So
beautiful.
that's about 3 weeks away. Yeah, it's published by Daedalic. Entertainment Entertainment, and they published like
What did they do again? 'Cause
the
I've played
Golem
a few
game.
of their games.
They did like Shadow Ethics, Biotrauma.
It's Lord of the Rings Golem that I know them from. That's just due out next year. That's right.
Yeah.
Is that VR?
But it looks really good, and you know me, I'm big into my cyberpunk. It's gonna feature like multiple endings, a really good, like deep story. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
You play as like a android who's basically just you go against your programming and hunt down bad guys. What's not to love? Short one, but I brought 2 for you.
No, that's fair. I'm going to flip back to something that happened last week, though, with my gaming news this week. And that actually happened during the show last
Yeah.
week. Actually, as we were just recording the show, recording the bonus content, this dropped, and it is the release or the announcement that Steam or Valve, sorry, are going to be doing a Steam Deck, which looks a little bit like this. Which is basically a 7-inch portable handheld gaming PC is what they're touting it as. So it runs a version of SteamOS. I think. Oh god, I've totally I've forgotten everything about this. So basically, you can actually install whatever OS you want on it. You can delete that and you can install Windows 10, for example. You can run Linux on it if you want. You can just run anything. It is based on Linux. I think this version is SteamOS, and it's running Proton, if I remember rightly, which is the Windows 10 sort of compatibility style stuff. So any games that are designed for Windows 10, it should work perfectly on this Linux-based version of SteamOS. So you've got games like on screen just now, like there's Ni no Kuni. You had oh god, the thing Star Wars Jedi. I keep forgetting the name of that game. Fallen Order. Yeah, every single time I think about that game, I forget the name of it. And Control was all shown on there as well. What game is that?
Factorial.
Nice. So yeah,
I think it's all Hades as well.
Yeah, Hades, Doom is going to be on it. Doom Eternal.
Basically, the whole basis is you can take your entire Steam catalog and play it wherever you are. Steam library, yeah. Which I mean, there's in terms of just pure stats, it's a 7-inch LCD screen, touchscreen. It's got gyro sensors. It's got 2 thumbsticks, D-pad, your standard AXPY. That's the weirdest way of saying that. Why did I say it that way around?
The thumbsticks are capacitive.
Yes. Yeah. And you've got trackpads underneath each of the thumbsticks, which is really weird. And then you've got 2 L3 and L4 buttons and R3 and R4 buttons on the back as well, basically like your pro style controller triggers. Yeah, thoughts? Anybody?
I actually like the look of it. I think it looks like pretty good. I'm not going to pick it up because I can't afford it. Maybe later down the line or something, but I think I don't know. I actually really kind of like it because obviously you can't lug a gaming laptop everywhere, and if you just want to sit and play games, obviously there are portable consoles like the Switch and everything. Everybody's comparing it to that.
Yep. Uh-oh, what just happened? I'm back. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we froze for a second.
You froze for me too, but we're back.
Cool.
Sorry, Liz, what were you saying? We're comparing it to the Switch was the last thing we heard.
Yeah, so a lot of people are comparing it to Switch, but say you want to bring something that isn't on the Switch with you. You want to play Doom, freaking an FPS and run around. And I think the technology they're using for it sounds really good. And they're doing tons of customization stuff with it. You can set it up so that the trackpads below the thumbsticks are halved on the screen, so this side can quickly go on one side and the other one on the other. And if I'm not mistaken, it's also touch screen.
It is touch. The screen, the 7-inch screen is touch screen as well. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, and I've heard that you can change out the storage if you
There's been
want.
talk. I mean, Valve have said don't do it. Yeah. Obviously, they're going to say that. Sony said the same thing with the PlayStation, and Microsoft would also say the same thing about the Xbox. Don't put in another company's stuff. Use our stuff. That's what they're trying to say. So stay within the ecosystem. Don't pay money to other companies. But I mean, I put down my reservation for the mid-tier one. There are 3 SKUs. There's going to be a 64 gigabyte MMC version. There's a 256 and a 512 NVMe versions as well. So there's 3 SKUs. I personally went for the middle one. I went for the 256. I think that'll be just enough for the games that I want, and it's an NVMe, and we've talked about this in the past in terms of gaming. That is the superior interface for a hard drive.
Yeah.
It's so fast, so fast.
Yeah.
But aside from that, the internals, the processor, the GPU or the APU, sorry, the combined GP CPU is sort of, it's not too bad, and it's running 16 gig of DDR5 RAM as well. So it's comparable with an entry level gaming PC, I would say, probably. And the pricing for, I mean, the 64 gig isn't going to hold a lot of games, but the entry point for that is £350, British pounds, UK pounds, which isn't bad for a 17-inch portable touchscreen PC, which is customizable in a million different ways. You know,
It's better than some rigs out there.
this
You
is
know.
true. This is true.
Yeah.
You go to some companies and they will rip you off. I'm not sure about the button placement. The D-pad and face buttons are a little too close to the corner for my liking, which might lead to cramp. But what I've found is that when using the additional buttons on the back of a controller, I tend to not claw the controller so much, so my trigger fingers aren't all the way around. So I could probably sit with my thumbs a little higher than I would normally do, and still be able to have functionality with it. There's been a lot of people who are unsure about that. Totana, what are your thoughts?
For me personally, I like the Switch. I don't know the last time I played it in handheld mode.
Fair.
And yeah, I don't like. I think the only time I'd probably do it is if I was going traveling and I wanted something. But ever since I got the Note 10 Plus, I'm just like, if I want to play a game, I can now stream it to my phone with the Game Pass. The thought of paying a minimum of £350 for something that, for all they can hype it up and everything, isn't going to be optimized. It's not going to be optimized hardware. Games are not going to be programmed for this in mind. They're going to be programmed with PC in mind. For consoles, they're not going to be in mind for this hardware. I've got a feeling it's going to age incredibly badly, and it will stop being.
That's fair.
It's not going to be something that will work long run, unless if they were to make it modular and be like, there's this card and it's essentially the motherboard, and they go, just weak that out, pop this new one in, there we go, that's a new upgraded system that'll play all your latest games, boom, that'll cost you £150 for that card, there you go.
That's one of the selling points of a PC system, is it's modular.
Yeah.
You can change out your graphics, you can change out your board, you can change out your RAM, you can change out your CPU, and upgrade bit by bit. So yeah, I can see that's a fixed point.
Also, I completely agree with the placement of the buttons from what you were saying. The idea of first and foremost, when I hold a controller, I'm a big fan of an Xbox One controller, right? I think it's one of the best designed controllers. My palms are there. Yeah. My hand, I'm like a full wraparound. I'm not a fan of a symmetrical controller either. I ever since I switched over, my hands are symmetrical when I'm playing a game, because my thumb is over the buttons, my left thumb's over the stick.
Yep.
I don't like the design of it. Also, as someone who had the Steam controller, sometimes Valve, stick to software.
This is true.
On your specific on your point there, Tony. Friend of the channel, friend of the shop, Doggerkita tweeted out about when the Stream Deck got announced. Stream Deck seems awesome, but the only thing that worries me is that developers aren't going to be developing specifically for it, so it'll probably become obsolete really quickly.
Yep.
That's a good point.
And on this, I'd like to announce that every week from now on, we'll tweet out whatever the subjects are going to be for the show, so we can get your views. Because I like the idea that because I don't know video games. Why do I work here? So I can throw to other people's opinions on Twitter.
Actually, I was the Nearly Men do that already, and I was going to steal it from them. So yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Sam.
Hello. Well, now you don't steal it. I came up with it on my own.
I had no idea, so it is his original idea. But beautiful.
I don't think. I unlike Tony, only use the Switch in handheld. I've never used it on TV unless it's to play 1-2 Switch.
Okay.
Or Mario Party.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm using it in handheld mode most of the time. I have other consoles and things like that for the Switch. One of those consoles, instead of having to use Switch, is a PC. Not that a PC, you know what I mean? Like, if you play PC, you're used to playing PC where you're at. If you're a PC purist, this isn't necessarily what you're looking for, is it? To be able to play your games on the go. But at the same time, if you're someone who's like, I only use Steam, I don't want to have fingers in so many pies all over the place, and this would probably work out quite well, where you're like, I have my whole library, I have a back catalogue of games, and it's good to go straight out the box, essentially, rather than getting a Switch, which is all new.
So there is one benefit I could see to it, which is I have, we've talked about this in the Discord before.
We have.
I have
know where you're
a
going.
massive Steam library.
Huge library, yeah.
My Steam library is insane, and that isn't all of the games I own. That I've got tons of Steam codes I haven't redeemed, and that's because there are games that and I've said this on my own streams before with We Dev Wednesday. There's certain games I played in PC. I'm like, you know what? I'd really like that in Switch. There are certain games I'm like, I would like to be able to play this portable. And with the Steam Deck, I would be able to test that theory and be like, yeah, there is plenty of stuff that I could go and play when I'm around the house, and just, I'm in the kitchen playing a wee game while cooking away. Whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, this is I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna like, one of the points that came up for me was, or one of the reasons, the actual reason that made me then go onto the website and actually reserve one is just the openness of it. Is the fact that I can play Game Pass on it. If I wanted to, I could do Stadia on it. If I wanted to, I can emulate any retro game that I want. I can take my entire Steam library as well. So I have a huge catalogue that I can go to, and it's like it's basically, I feel like it's the Swiss Army knife of portables, if anything. You know, I have 5 different portables that I go to do different things. So if I want to play Nintendo stuff, I'm going to have to go to a Nintendo portable like a 3DS or my Switch, you know, because Nintendo properties are locked into that ecosystem. But the Switch Deck will be able, the Steam Deck, will be able to the Switch Deck. The Steam Deck will be able to do so many things. I mean, you mentioned it as well, Titana. I have a Galaxy Note 10 just like you. And I have a clamp controller, which was specifically designed for it. Which it sits in and it connects via Bluetooth, and it's fantastic. And I do use it if the TV's being used in the main room. I have used it to play Sea of Thieves, for example, on Xbox Game Pass on my Samsung, which is fine and it works great. You need a fast enough internet connection to be able to do it, because I wasn't able to do it in the past. But I do use that. So I do play games portable, and we played Mario Kart last night in our weekly Mario Kart tournament, and I played it in handheld. So I do find myself using handheld gaming a lot more. So it really comes down to what your situation is and what you're going to be able to use it for. And I can understand that some people won't find any use for it, but some people might. And I think it's really, if anything, it's quite if it works out and it does turn out to be a good product, then Valve are going to be really savvy and they're going to rake it in, because the movement is with everybody, and with Netflix as well, talking about doing games and stuff as well, although it's kind of slightly different. There's like cloud-based gaming is the next big thing for a lot of game companies, and that's what they're all trying to get their little finger into. And I think Valve are smart in terms of what they've done. It's funny because I was on, sorry Lewis, before I was on Kickstarter the week before, or the 2 weeks before this was announced, so probably about 3 weeks ago now. Not looking specifically for this, but actually something similar to the Steam Deck popped up, and it's the only one I can find on there, and it's a small indie company who've designed a portable PC, battery powered. I think it's a 6-inch screen, so it's basically a PC version of the Switch, and they are going to lose out because of the Steam Deck now, which is kind of sad, to be honest.
I'd be really interested to see what the battery life of the Steam Deck's going to be.
Well, that's been a talking point as well. They're talking, I think, if you're pumping out AAA game, highest res, highest brightness on the screen, and using all the functions, I think 2 hours is like the average. Is terrible. But if you're just playing a little indie game and you're not using too much of the APU, then somewhere in the region of 4 to 6 hours is the average, which is still not not a match for the Switch at all. The Switch is a good 8 hours easily.
Yeah.
I think average. So, it's interesting. It's going to be something that probably it's going to be an FA one, definitely.
Yeah.
Lewis, you were going to say something. Sorry, before I jumped in.
I was just going to say, what is the port situation on it? Like, what
the
connections does it
iOS,
have?
it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, USB-C. It's got headphone jack. In term a 3.5mm jack actually off that. In terms of the dock, this is really interesting. The dock is not supplied with it. Like when you get your Switch, you get a dock in the box, but the Steam Deck, the dock is going to be sold separately. And
It doesn't have like HDMI or anything like that.
You use the USB-C for that, so much like a
USB-C.
MacBook, you get a USB adapter which will give you HDMI's display ports, USB 3s for example, USB-A 3. So yeah, that's I think they're saying that you can use any dock as long as it's a USB-C one to HDMI display port or whatever, but the official one is not going to be packaged. It will be sold separately, which is interesting. So that's another like at least 20-30 quid on top, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the F it's that cheap.
Yeah.
So, the Steam Link is just kind of it's a thing, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think this came up when the Nearly Men were discussing it. Steam Link is obviously being able to stream your Steam library from your PC to another device. I've used it with my phone, for example, with my Samsung Galaxy, and it works well. Works well on a fast internet connection. You're pretty well. So
Yeah. I use mine actually quite a lot, just for I can't be bothered setting up anything, so I just hook my laptop up to it, watch something on my non-smart TV.
Yeah.
there you go.
We need to swiftly move on, as
We
there are
do.
many other stories,
Talked about
and we
this for far
have.
too long.
That's right, 17 minutes left. So I've sent you a news story because it'll be much faster, and who cares?
I wanted to talk about your thing.
Well, I've sent you a funny meme, and it'll be much faster than talking about the inner workings of business within the gaming industry when we've just spent 25 minutes on what ports are on the back of the new console. IGN have got exclusive rights to show the meme-worthy X-Men merch for San Diego Comic-Con. That's right, Mondo, a company well known for making screen-printed special edition movie posters, has come together with Marvel and the X-Men to make a Wolverine figure exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con based on the famous meme of him stroking a picture of Scott Summers and Jean Grey in his bed, and I now really want one. It does come with other heads and hands, etc., and a chicken drumstick for some reason. But this is the pose that it comes in, and I now desperately want it. Also, shout out to, I can't remember the song, but there's a song.
It even has the schnitt effect. Yes.
There's a song that's part of my June music playlist on Spotify where someone the guy rapping makes a line that's like
It's so sad. I'm sorry.
got my eyes on the sun, call me Summers or something. Oh, never mind. Oh no, got my eyes on summer like Scott, and I was like, it's good. Anyway, yeah, this is my news story for the week. It's not gaming related. I do have an idea for a new segment that's part of the Arcade Post Show that's exclusive to patreon.com/Arcade Glasgow that I'm going to start doing as of maybe next week or the week after, where I can just bring you dumb news stories that aren't related to anything. But I figured IGN posted about this, so we can talk about it.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's my gaming news. Wolverine figure. Someone please find me a way to buy this.
I mean, quick mention of Sam's actual news. Not going to talk about it, but
We shouldn't. Don't even acknowledge it.
Since he's just ixnayed it.
It took 3 minutes.
Chinese conglomerate, I think actually you could call them, Tencent. Have confirmed that they are going to buy a UK-based video game developer called Sumo Games. They are based in Sheffield, north of England. They were originally created by 4 gentlemen who used to work for the old company called Infogrames. When they went down, 4 of the gents that used to run Infogrames actually started up Sumo Games. This was back in 2003. And Tencent, Chinese company, have come in and they're going to buy them for £900 million.
Well done.
Or $1.53 billion, I think is the
I know a lot of people have like a lot of trepidation when like a Chinese company wants to get involved or whatever. Tencent though, a lot of the gaming companies they touch do really well out of it. They have a habit of buying companies and giving the owners full creative control.
So they just leave them
pretty much just being like, here's money, we want to be able to port this to the Chinese market.
Yep.
So we might have some localization stuff that we need to do, but in general, here's a ton of it. They've done it with Grinding Gear Games, with Path of Exile. Path of Exile has hardly changed their business model.
Yep.
It's still great. So good things for them.
Good things. I mean, Sumo work quite a lot with Sony. They just finished, or they did development on the Little Big Planet game for PS4, PS5, the latest one, which is Sackboy Adventure. They also worked on Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, I believe, back in the day. So yeah, big lineage for Sumo, and a good addition to the Tencent portfolio, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
That was Sam's news that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm talking of big acquisitions for money. I will be spending $200 on this Wolverine figure on Friday. Thank you.
Nice to hear.
There's three things in the background. One is a talking Randy Savage that Andy bought me. One is a Yao Ming from The Simpsons. And the last one is a fake Superman action figure from Turkey. I will be adding to that wall.
I still have the box for this. Do you want this for your wall?
I can't put it up.
Speaking of something that will not cost you $200.
Is it a free game?
It is a free game. My news is about Ubisoft's newest Tom Clancy game. So they're going to be coming up with a game called Tom Clancy's XDefiant, which will be a free-to-play game, and it will be a first-person shooter that will pitch teams of 6 characters, or Defiants, against each other against multiple modes. There's going to be a big focus on gunplay. They are they're doubling down on how the guns feel and look, as is done in quite a lot of the Tom Clancy games.
Yeah, it's very important.
This, however, is going to be slightly different to Tom Clancy fans, because this is borderline going to be like a hero shooter.
Like Apex or something like that, you mean, yeah.
Like Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like even a little bit like the one that you play, Andy, Valorant.
Yes.
So like Overwatch, Valorant. You're going to have these different factions, and they're coming from the different Tom Clancy worlds. So Division, Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon are the 3 that have been confirmed so far. There's going to be like 2 factions within from the Division, which is the Outcasts and the Cleaners. You're going to have Echelon from Splinter Cell and the Wolves from Ghost Recon.
There you go.
And different factions will feel different. You can customize a lot of the stuff. You can do different abilities, and you'll be able to customize your guns, like the loadouts in themselves, but customize your sights, your add-ons to your guns and everything. And in general, it sounds like a smart idea for me, because a lot of the Tom Clancy's games recently, they're focusing an awful lot on character development in them. Anyone that's been around for a while knows that a lot of us are big fans of Siege, as Oh My Gosh in chat just said. I would be really interested to see some Siege operators put in there, but a lot of these characters are original designs for this game. They are just inspired and as if they're coming from those other franchises.
Sounds like what's it, Heroes of the Storm you played in the past, which pulls characters and from different IPs within their
within
catalog.
Yeah, and I love that game. Heroes of the Storm is great because you get to, these types of games are, in my head, they're what-if games, and it's something we've all done as kids, like, who would win in a fight between, Wolverine and Superman? they're never going to fight because it's different companies.
Yeah.
You know, and this is something we get to do in these games where, like, oh, what would Junkrat do if up against Diablo?
It would be your mate would come round with his favourite toys, and then you'd have your like you'd have the turtles, or he would have
I'd
like,
go round to Sam's. I go round
Transformers,
with my Power Rangers, and Sam's there with his wrestling figures, and then also has Power Rangers. But we fight like Power Rangers versus wrestlers, and it's,
I'd love it if you'd come over. I need help putting up picture frames.
But yeah, so this game, it seems an awful lot like, you know, a meeting of the worlds kind of thing, and I'd be really interested to see where they go from this, because it's going to be free to play, so there's going to be microtransactions.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of them going with almost like a siege model, where you can play the game, and unlock new people. They can add extra factions later on, a la like Smite, for example, which is all about the pantheons of gods. And every now and again they introduce a full new pantheon, you know. So it originally started with your like Greek, Roman and stuff like that, and then now we've got like the Japanese pantheon, the Hindu pantheon, stuff like that. They could do the same with this, because there's other Tom Clancy franchises. They could add in the Rainbow Six franchise, they could add in other ones.
So I think you can register interest if you want to take part. I played XDefiant.com, I believe I saw on screen there, is that right? So go check that out.
Just either go to that website or Google it, XDefiant, and it's pretty much one of the first links. I registered my interest today, and it's coming to pretty much everything. So
they're in the ecosystems. They already have Siege and everything and stuff like that, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yep.
Foot in the door. Nice. Thank you, Totana. Yeah. Thank you. Right, guys, every week we do our normal show, but there's actually some extra content that you are missing out on if you are not part of our Patreon. So if you jump over to patreon.com/arcade Glasgow, you get to see some of the mini games that we love and enjoy doing for you guys. We will do one for you today. But if you want to catch the extra content, go to patreon.com/arcade Glasgow now and sign up to get access to that exclusively over there. So Sam, I think you've prepped this for us? Yes, let's do this. It's time for Five Alive. Sam, what's Five Alive?
Five Alive is a game where I very poorly edited the intro video. It's one of the many games we play here at Arcade Glasgow. You can see a further 3 week on week if you subscribe to one of the top 2 sections of our Patreon. Join us there. We have fun. 3 games of fun plus Sunday. You'll see lots of stuff. I could market it. I will market it. Join us on Patreon, because not only do you get special goodies if you're in the top tier, if you're in the top 2 tiers, you also get video content that released every Sunday, as well as a special edition outtakes video that releases once a month of all of our top 5 YouTube videos and our gameplays. You also now get a weekly video along with these, which is the 3 other games that we play after the stream is done. And maybe there's more to come. Who's to say? Maybe you want more, maybe you don't. I want every excuse to make podcasts. But for now, because we're running out of time, we've only got 5 minutes left, which gives us time to do Five Alive. Five Alive is a game where I present the cast of Arcade with 5 seemingly innocuous items, and they have to try and guess what the link between them all is. Last time we did this, can't even remember what it was. The time before that,
it was ties.
Oh, it was ties that my English teacher would have worn. The time before that, it was breads that I haven't eaten but would like to try. This week it's far less stupid, but I hope you enjoy. Let's get it started, Andrew, with number 5.
Number 5 is, that's 4. Gecko.
It's a gecko. Any of you guys got experience with geckos?
No, but I want to.
No. They've got sticky feet. I don't trust them.
They just fancy lizards.
The sticky feet thing is really cool, though. It's just because they
have cool, but I don't want it near me.
The surface area of their little feet is so big that it's just like the actual amount of tension it brings. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Aren't they just fancy lizards, though?
No.
Alright.
Lizards are just
boring geckos.
Fancy snakes.
Lizards are just fancy snakes, and geckos are just fancy lizards.
I mean, a gecko to a snake is a long-legged Mac Daddy. There's a throwback.
Speaking of throwbacks, if you wouldn't mind, Andrew,
throwback to
showing us number 4 because you've already shown it off.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Fine. It's a broken heart. It's a broken heart. Represented by a cookie.
So Gecko.
The final
and
thing
Broken
isn't
Heart.
a broken heart. The final thing that's on the list isn't a cookie, but it is a broken heart.
There goes my guess of things that sound like Geico but aren't Geico.
Well, that's why there's the Geico Gecko.
Yeah.
Are these things that Kanye West has written songs about?
Interesting. I'm in the
Organics.
desert. This is a
Organics
gecko.
is my guess.
You took my heart. Broke it in Tuco. I don't know.
Why are you doing This is America? Like, that's not a Kanye.
Because we driven now. Okay, we driven now.
All rap is the same to me, Andrew.
Things that Sam has not experienced.
Oh,
Experienced a broken heart on a gecko. I like this. I like these guesses so far. All right, we can move over to number 3.
All right, number 3. Pingu.
Pingu.
That's a very angry Pingu.
I took the angriest Pingu I could find.
I'm pretty sure that's the Pingu from the Thing, like fan made one.
Yeah.
Now, sadly,
terrifying.
I have experienced Pingu. I did watch it as a kid, so
No way.
Tony's guessing. that.
Things Sam's wish he hadn't experienced.
Oh.
What kind of relationship do you think I have with geckos then? Oh, their hands do
Their
grip.
hands.
Bad
I think one
experience.
grabbed your face and you couldn't get it off.
I was thinking of a different part of the body, but that's fine.
Your leg.
Yeah, my hairy legs.
I don't think Kanye's made a song about Pingu.
He might be.
No,
he
no,
might be.
He
What
sampled.
is
He
like?
sampled the Pingu theme
Poopity
tune.
shoot. Poopity shoot. No. Poopity shoot. I think it is. It might be. These things have been or have referenced.
It's part of lyrics. They're part of a line.
Kanye
in
sampled.
Kanye
West
Yeah,
songs.
Kanye sampled all this stuff. Yeah, yeah.
No, not this
I'm
far.
gonna stick with organics. You know.
Organics.
Okay.
Organic things. All right. Andrew, flick to number 2 for me, please.
Okay, number 2 is Puss in Boots.
That is also organic. I don't know, Tony. Do you think that Puss in Boots is something I'd wish to have not experienced?
I don't know. Nah, I think because Puss in Boots is kind of good.
Boots. In Boots.
Boots.
The only
Pray
time I've
for
been
mercy
more
from him.
attracted to that man is when he was a dad.
Yep.
In Spy Kids? Yes, cool.
Yeah, that was that.
Always been
That's a Spy
that.
Kids reference, yeah.
I had to make a reference to Spy Kids once every month of the curse.
Or your brain melts.
Returns.
Yeah.
The curse returns.
Your brain falls out your ears. That's.
I'm still
I've-
going with Kanye lyrics.
Oh man, don't steal my thing, bruh. I gave it up, to be fair, on the last slide. So, I think all of these things again. This is let me think. Gecko, Broken Heart.
I will change mine.
Oh.
Actually,
I have a new one that I'm thinking of, but I'm just double checking everything that was on
So-
the list.
these are things that Sam expects to be referenced in Kanye's new album.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Should we just move on? Because I was going to say
Yeah,
it's,
what's number 1?
things Antonio Banderas has voiced. I don't know.
Gecko, a broken heart. Pingu.
Liz, do you have anything
Nope.
before I move on to number 1?
I'm still sticking with organics.
Okay, here we go. Number 1 is boxing gloves.
Oh,
3 boxing
3 boxing gloves.
3, specifically 3. Man, I wish I hadn't given up my Kanye answer.
Tyson.
I think
No, that's an old Kanye lyric. That's one of my favourite Kanye lyrics of all time that sticks in my head. Is Tyson, Jackson, Jordan, Game 6, which is just him listing people that are impressive.
is it one of your favorite music
3
sounds?
Michaels.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the 3 Michaels.
I think actually these are all items that Sam saw at Diane's degree show. I think that's what they are. That's what they are.
I'm changing mine from organics to things Sam wishes he could punch.
I thought you were instead going to go things Sam thinks he could fit his hand
I
inside.
know, that's what I thought as well. And I was like, Lewis, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, I did, so it's fine. Tony,
You sticking?
sticking with
Yeah.
Kanye
Yeah.
lyrics? All right.
Hey,
It is musical in nature,
Oh.
but it is not. I'm upset that I hadn't made one that was things I thought were from the Kanye album. I will
a good
now.
list.
The next
It's a good
time.
list.
Well, no, I can't. I was about to say I'll make that the next one. I'll do things from the Kanye album. But that would give it away. All right, Andrew, please reveal what this was a top 5 list of.
Top
Top 5
favorite-
favorite Ed Sheeran tattoos.
Yeah.
The man has a lot, and I found an article which goes through 62 of them.
Wow.
Except they listed the gecko twice, so it was only 61. His most famous tattoo, of course, is the Heinz ketchup label, which meant that he got his own custom Heinz ketchup bottles, which actually are kind of terrifying and also really cool at the same time. They're exclusive in the US. Would you like to see these 5 tattoos?
I think it says at the bottom, so I'm assuming there's more slides. Oh, there are. Okay, cool.
There's
Yes.
one slide. Go for it.
Here you go.
These
Oh,
are all of
there's-
his tattoos.
Wow. What's the 3 buttons?
So the 3 buttons is the 3 boxing gloves.
Oh, I thought it was like nipples.
The reason
I
that's
was
my
like,
number
what the
one.
hell?
The others are all like either the broken heart is for Hearts Don't Break Around Here, his song.
Yeah.
Most of the others are like either just things he likes, or he's got tattoos that are references to albums or references to gigs he's done. One of the ones I almost put on this list was the word Prince in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air font, which he got in Chicago, and he got it alongside the rap duo Rizzle Kicks, who both had Fresh, and the other one had in West Philadelphia, Born and Raised. Both of them got those tattooed. But the 3 boxing gloves was my number one, because it's for the 3 times that he sold out Madison Square Garden, the famous boxing, basketball, everything venue in New York, and also, which I didn't know, his granddad was a professional boxer. So it was a reference to his granddad and a reference to the fact he sold out Madison Square Garden 3 times. I
I like
thought
the
that was
idea
pretty
that
cool.
if he was to sell out another time at Madison Square Garden, he'd get another boxing glove.
Which doesn't, based on where he's put them, I don't
Oh,
know
there's
how they
space above.
fit.
There's space above.
Yeah, there's space above.
Space above.
I-
I like the
I
fact
think
that
it's
the...
interesting.
Oh,
Sorry, Andy.
sorry,
but-
no, you go. You started before me.
He's going like this.
Are you going to say what I'm... Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah,
his
he's
4
pinky.
fingers.
Yeah.
He's expecting a 4th.
I like
Three.
that he to activate his smartwatch he has to press the 3 boxing gloves. That's my favourite part.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's to get into factory settings.
Oh. He has to do that and press
It's
the
like how
heart,
many
and
steps
that's-
have I
and
done
it takes a
today?
screenshot.
How many steps have I done today? I can do it with my tattoo as well.
Yeah, I'd suggest going and checking out Ed Sheeran's tattoos.
Is that how many times you've sold out?
This is how
R-CADE?
many times I've sold out to the man. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To the big
I
N,
also
to Nintendo actually.
Notice that there's a gingerbread man above Pingu.
There's so many. There's
There
a
is,
gingerbread man above
yeah.
Pingu. There's a bear above the gecko. He's got an entire lion on his chest. One I also missed out was he's got a family tree over his right bicep. I looked at a
Not
lot of
his own.
naked photos of Ed Sheeran.
And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to send you over to somebody else awesome, so don't go anywhere if you're watching live on Twitch. If you're listening or watching in the future via YouTube or Spotify or many other places, that camera's over there. I keep looking at there, but it's not. It's there. Then thank you for checking us out. Be sure to give us a follow, give us a sub, give us a like wherever you are. And stay safe out there. Be good, and we will see you next time here in the Super Arcade Show. Thank you to Lewis, thank you to Sam, thank you to Totana. We will have Nadia back next week, I believe. And thank you to Totana especially for filling in the last 2 weeks, my friend.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
been fantastic. So yeah, be good to one another, and we will see you next time. All right, everybody.
Don't do
say
drugs.
Bye, Diver.
Can't wait to buy this really unnecessarily expensive Wolverine. God bless. Have a great weekend.